Hello, this is Dr. Stanley Lang, and welcome to this presentation. This is a continuation in a series of videos on whole person health, where the model is health of body, mind, and spirit, or spiritual, physical, emotional health, and that this leads to holistic or whole person health. And today I'm focusing on physical health as the main feature. And the question that I'm posing is, what do you do to increase your energy? When you're not feeling energized, what do you do to increase your energy? For a lot of people, they don't really know what to do. And if they're chronically not having good energy, they don't really know what are the things I need to check off to make sure that I'm doing everything I can. That's sort of like the basics. Um, it's always important to pay attention to the basics before you move on to the second and the third level issues that could be contributing to your lack of energy. So what I'd like to focus on today is simply the role of effective nutrition in energy. Now, the reason for that is too complex for a short video. Just to say that the little parts of our cells that make energy molecules require some very specific nutrients to function optimally, and there are a couple that are very commonly low, and one of them is vitamin D. And I find that about 80% of people where I live, and when I check their blood levels, are low in vitamin D, sometimes profoundly low. And the second one is vitamin B12. And I find that the majority of people, when I check their blood levels, are on the low end of normal, lower than optimal by a long shot. And that when you're in this lower than optimal range, that almost always is associated with lower energy. So in addition to these two very common nutrients that we can measure, there are over 50 nutrients that are crucial to cell health that we can't measure. So one of the ways to approach whole person health with the idea of increasing your energy is just making sure that you have the right nutrient levels in your cells for optimal energy production and for optimal function of the cells. If the cells individually can't function well, the organ won't function well, and your perception of energy will not be at your best by any means. So what makes up a good nutritional strategy? Well, in addition to eating as effectively as you can, meaning that you eat foods that are rich nutritionally and cover the bases, um, using an effective nutritional supplement, I think, is very helpful for most people when they have a lack of energy. In fact, it's very helpful as a preventive strategy. But if you have a lack of energy, the chances are very good, in my experience, that you are significantly deficient in one or more very key nutrients. So when you decide to purchase a nutritional supplement, it's very important that you pay attention to the question, how is this thing made and where is it made and what are the raw ingredients being used in it? So I recommend to my patients that they use a pharmaceutical grade product. If you don't use a pharmaceutical grade product, the company literally doesn't know what's in their own product because they're not doing enough testing to know. They don't test the raw ingredients effectively for adequate levels of the key nutrients and to make sure that there aren't pollutants in the raw ingredients. They don't test how the supplement works in terms of measuring blood levels. Does it raise the blood levels of the key nutrients? They don't check to see if it dissolves well. All of these are key parts of a pharmaceutical grade product, and most supplements, unfortunately, are not anywhere near pharmaceutical grade. So if you're going to use a strategy of broad spectrum nutritional supplementation, this is very sophisticated science. Putting a bunch of nutrients together, sticking them into a pill is not likely to solve your problem. And if you want to have effective outcomes from this kind of a strategy, use a pharmaceutical grade product. So pharmaceutical grade means that the nutritional supplement was made with the same standards voluntarily by the company that made it as a drug company legally has to do when they make their drugs. Now, there's not very many companies that have this standard. Different companies make their own claims as to whether they actually have this standard or not, and they often will use a sort of a code name that says the product was made in an FDA supervised facility, or some other code that doesn't mean pharmaceutical grade. It just means that the FDA is kind of aware that the product is being made there. And there are a lot of other codes also that these companies will use, like they follow good manufacturing practices, and they pretend that that equals pharmaceutical grade. That's not true either. So I encourage you that if you have a sense of low energy, start with the basics. Pharmaceutical grade is critical if you want the best outcome if you're going to use a nutritional strategy. But almost always start with at least vitamin D and B12. Those are low so often that the chances are pretty good that's a part of the problem. So I hope you find this helpful. God bless you on your journey, and have a great day.